All right. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our Vigil Master Agency team call. First week back from conference, and that's going to be part of what we cover today. Also wanted to remind everyone that it is Life Insurance Awareness Month. I have had, I don't know, probably 7 or 8 people reach out now asking for coverage. Working on those right now. But just from making the simple everyday post of the Life Insurance Awareness Month. So if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, feel free to go to my Facebook page and see what I'm doing. Linda's doing a really good job with her videos as well. She does Facebook, what is it, live? Is it live or a reel, Linda? Something like that.
Just been doing the reels.
In
Yeah.
the reels, yeah. And reels is where you're going to get your real attention from. But it's just a good way to bring awareness to Life Insurance Awareness Month. We're, just halfway through it now. So, but it's still a good opportunity for you guys to be able to promote it. Let's do some quick introductions real quick. So I think we have 2 new people on right now. And if you were at conference, you got to meet them. It looks like everyone that is on besides Paola was there. But Joel, if you'll give us a quick introduction, how you found us, who you're direct to, that'd be great, and then we'll go to Paola.
Yeah, hi, my name is Joel Santiesteban. My direct upline is John Mafoot, and I responded to an ad on Craigslist, looking for different kind of work and just to do something that I knew would take me out of my current position. Just know I wanted to do something different and looking for some change. So I found you guys, and here I am.
Awesome, welcome. I had an opportunity to have a meal with Joel over there in Denver and just get to know him and what his goals are. So excited for him and what he's bringing to the table. And then Paola, are you available? If not, that's all right. The other thing I wanted to do is get a few quick takeaways of whatever your number 1 or 2 nuggets were from conference. I'll start first. That way you guys can hear mine. But what I liked was simplified. Everything that they rolled out this year is simplified. Simplify the process for the agent, for building a team, everything like that. It was, if you've been to conference in the past couple years, it has been just a fire hose of information, right? Like they just push so much at us. It was overwhelming at times, right? From Quility RX, couple years ago, and last year they were saying we're being introduced with the NFL and just everything that came out all at once. And this year it was just like, hey, this is our focus. We are going back to the basics and just being very focused, very simplified in our processes. So, Linda, you want to go first?
The one thing I got from conference as it is really important to build. And so I would like to take that focus on of building.
Awesome. Yeah. That's where the real profit comes in, right? Is in building.
Mhm.
So I'm glad that was your takeaway. Mr. Avila?
Mine would be definitely how they got all of our backs, um, with everything that they're building with us. You hit the nail on the head. You said that they, the simplifying everything, but it was also really nice to hear that everybody went through some part of life of struggle and that the Symmetry family was there for one another. And I mean, look where it's at for everyone. So it made me feel more of like a family more than anything, even across all the other conferences we've been with Symmetry.
I can agree with that. And one of the things I did notice was a lot of cross-line communication, right? So you saw that between like Craig McManaman, Jim Larson, um, Scott Schnitzer, you know what I mean? They're all part of different teams, but yet they're all helping each other grow. So I thought that was really cool. We'll go to Brenda, since I think she has the most experience next. And we can, if you want us to come back to you, we can too.
There, can you hear me now? There we go.
Yes.
Sorry, I'm driving, so I don't know how to do this on my phone. No, I think conference is great. I'd say probably two of my biggest takeaways are consistency. That's actually one thing that Jim Larson talked about. I do his morning huddle every morning. And that's one thing he was kind of talking about this morning was just consistency. And then kind of like what Matt said is just like utilizing community, and I'm going to make it kind of a mission to like utilize outlied agencies also, to kind of just plug in with those and, you know, get more just more engagement through other top producing people, you know, people like we say stay close to the fire. And so yeah, just kind of staying connected to other people and other agencies also.
Awesome. Yeah, no, I went to Jim Larson's breakout because Craig had talked with us about doing the accountability group, and he says, I really think you should go to his breakout to really understand it. So, I mean, I took a lot of notes there, and that's something that Jim and I are going to talk about on Thursday. And he says, you know, anyone's welcome to my accountability group. You know, you're just not going to be part of the numbers. So if you want to come and get fired up, you know, you definitely be a part of it. So, and that's what I love about Cemetery, right? And that's what the opportunity we have here. Kyle sent me a text message when I got back on Saturday, and he says, Michael, he's like, the access that you have to the McManaman agency right now is uncommon. He says, so you need to take advantage of that, right? And I've given you guys, I've told you guys that too, right? We share the dial room, everything like that. We're going to have Ask the AO and all those different things, the ability to dial in there. I know Brenda's been in there, Linda's been in there, Armando has popped in there, Matt is in there all the time because of FIF resets as well. So, I mean, just us having access to that, the fastest growing, right? I mean, seriously, one of the fastest growing teams in all of Symmetry. I mean, the next person to be 130 will be either Chris Leak, Eric Ondrick, or Angel. Honestly, I think Angel might surpass both of them, to be honest with you. But for us to have that access to them and you guys be able to just be in you know, involved in that fire. So I appreciate that comment, Brenda, because that's the reality, right? Like you may not get what you need from us, from this team, but there are other people out there that you may connect with. You know what I mean? You can get stagnant. I got stagnant, right? And let's be honest, right? So Brenda, I got stagnant because there was certain things not happening in other places, right? So I had to go and seek what I was looking for elsewhere, right? And now I think you guys have seen that renewed vigor as well. So I appreciate that comment. Shania, are you available to unmute?
Hi, yeah, I can. Give me 1 second. Let me close my door.
Did I see lipstick?
Yeah, I always wear. I'm a big fan of lipstick. I just when I'm at home, I don't wear it, and that's where I used to spend my life is at home. So I think my biggest takeaway from conference was I think, and I'm sure it's going to be like a no-brainer that I'm going to piggyback off of Brenda, but like the biggest thing that I think I took away was the connection to other people. You know, everyone in different breakout sessions, even in the main session, they just kept saying like copy and duplicate. Take what someone else is doing and duplicate it. And that's how you're going to grow and that's how you're going to be there. And to piggyback off of everybody else in the company that's doing the things, you know, they said association is key. And one big thing that I absolutely loved in that first breakout session, and I have my notes somewhere on who actually was doing it, but the biggest thing that they like said was that if you want to be something, you need to act like it, you need to be it, you need to surround yourself by it, you need to talk, walk, do all the things of the person that you inspire to be, because sooner or later you're going to take up on their habits and you're going to do what they're doing that makes them successful. And I do 100% agree with that, because I do believe that you are who you surround yourself with. And if you want to be a successful person, surround yourself with successful people. And that was like one of the biggest things I think I took away is conference is amazing because you're literally in a room, an auditorium of successful people, and to take advantage of it was huge.
If you don't mind, when you get a chance, share the name of that breakout, because I'm trying to get all the notes from all the different breakouts. I only have the 6 that I went to, right? And I shared those with those of you guys that went to conference already. And if you didn't get the invitation to the shared note, please let me know. That way we can get that over to you. And then, so we got 3 first-timers as well. So I would like to get their opinion of conference, and we'll go with Justine first, then Armando, and then Joelle. And if you're not able to, Justine, I understand. We can go to Armando next.
Yeah, so I had a couple things. So it was pretty cool because it was like watching the motivational videos I watch on YouTube all day because I don't really have a circle. I just work like 3 or 4 jobs now. So it was nice to have that as like something tangible than just something on the screen. But anyways, so the first thing was the FIF reset. You can really pitch that to anyone. I actually kind of pitched it to one of my roofing customers yesterday and got in touch with Matt, and that can really benefit anyone. So it was cool to get in that class and see how simple it is and how useful it could be for anyone really besides just your insurance clients. And then another thing that was affirmed, I've known this, but sometimes you need to be reminded of how things work. But like when you're consciously trying to run approaches or sales techniques, they seem like inaccessible or like they don't work out. So it's best to conduct that from a relaxed mindset, and they'll come to you when you need them. So you can't. So conscious effort can sometimes mess with your goals.
Awesome. No, I appreciate that. And that's actually one of the things that I was going to get to at the end of the meeting. So I'm glad you brought up the resets, and we'll touch base on that here in a bit. Thank you for posting that, Shania. That was one of the notes that I did share with you guys as well, because I did go to that same breakout. Rex is awesome. And just so you know, Brenda, Rex wants to team up and do local events as well. Just because he doesn't have a growing team right now. He is just like a badass producer, right? Like that's what he is. You know what I mean? So he's like, hey, it's time for us to grow events. And, you know, he's like, if anyone knows how to do events, it's you, because I used to put them on, you know, every month in New Mexico when we were before COVID, obviously. So it's time for us to get back to that. Joelle, no experience in the industry, barely licensed, barely contracted. What was your thought of conference?
Yeah, so for me, conference, it was I'm glad I went. It was nice. I noticed that it's like a tight-knit community. It seems like everybody wants to help each other and push each other. It seems like a very healthy place to be at. And it gave me perspective. It gave me a bit of a reality check too. And it helped me kind of focus more on how to dial in my goals better and kind of where to start. It helped me kind of hold myself a little more accountable, because sometimes I'm not really, especially being so new to this industry, not really sure where to start, or being quick to not see results. And then you get to talk to people and that are also going through that and overcame that. Like I spoke with somebody who was speaking, and they said they didn't really get their first sale or their first appointment after like almost 1,000 calls or 1,000, you know, leads or something like that, which was insane. But then they got to where they're at. So it helped give me perspective and like I said, a reality check, because you know you have to really commit and hold yourself accountable. So it was nice to see that kind of community there, and there's incentive for everybody to win, so that everybody wants you to win, because if you win, you know your team wins. And so that's 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 real, and I like to see that and experience that. So it helps kind of shift perspective for me. So it was actually a good thing that I was there and got to experience that.
And that was one of the overwhelming themes as well, right? Not overwhelming, overall themes was, you know, doing the hard work and digging in. It's so easy for us to understand the process and everything like that, but if we don't do the hard work, we can't dig in, right? And we can't do the things that are going to get us the results that we want. Justine, I see you unmuted.
Yeah, so this was my first conference. So actually I have a lot of good things that I'm like trying to implement. One one of the huge things that stood out to me is choose your hard. And I know, you know, they always talk about, I mean, you see Sierra Smith, who is now growing her business within a few months. And she chose her hard. She chose to put forth the effort and everything like that. The other thing that stood out to me was be coachable and really take what your mentors have to say. And then the last thing that stood out to me is don't fear failure. Be afraid of not having the choice to fail. And if we don't fail, we're never going to grow. And, you know, I told Linda and Brenda and Shania that I want to be on that stage next year. And so I'm choosing my heart of making the time to grow my business and to hopefully be on that stage next year.
Awesome. I love that. And just so you guys know, everyone has an opportunity to be on that stage, right? Agency owners, agency directors, 130s, they all get a chance to nominate people for Rising Star, Future Achiever, all those different things. And as long as your metrics are there and your numbers are positive, right? You'll get that opportunity. You either get the video up on the board or get that opportunity to go on stage. And one this was just crazy for me to hear it, and I heard it in 3 different breakouts. If you want to get to 130, you have to have 130 people at conference. That's the reality of it. If you want to get to 130, you have to have 130 people at conference. And if you look at the numbers, it kind of makes sense, right? So to be a 130, you have to have 45 unique writers, right? So then if someone's below you is at 125, they have to have 29 unique writers. Anyone at 120 has to have 19. And if you add that up, you know what I mean? It comes close to that. So where you want to be is how many people you want to have at conference. So think about that just for a little while, right? Like, and it doesn't necessarily mean like me, I have to have 130 people direct to me at conference, right? It means that my team has to have 130 people at conference. And that really resonated with me because everyone that's brand new 130, because how many 130s did we break out this year, Brenda? 8, 9, 10, something like that. I think we were only at 40 last year after 14 years. And this year, I think we broke out 10, with Sean Kim being the latest. Sean Kim, Craig, Christina, Kelly Bush, Jim Larson, Griff Martin, Ian Graham, and then there was a few others, right? So, but yeah, I mean, 10 this year. And there wasn't even 10 when I started with Symmetry 7 years ago. Kyle and Lisa were what, 9? Right? Tony was 10. Or not Tony wasn't even 10, but still, like, it just goes to show you how fast the timelines are collapsing now, right? Because of the way that they've created resources for us. So let me switch to this real quick. And I'm just going to share the raw file, the PowerPoint this way. You guys see the PowerPoint okay? So this is, like I said, Life Insurance Awareness Month. So we'll go to this one. So up here in Pennsylvania, if you know of anyone, they're going to have a post-conference blitz and boot camp. So if you know of anyone out there by Slippery Rock, in 2 weeks, there's going to be the golf tournament, and then there's going to be the blitz and boot camp on September 28th. And then if you're in Florida or know of anyone in Florida that's already with us, there's going to be the Advanced Markets Boot Camp, and that's going to be October 15th through the 17th. You do need AO approval to do that one. And then here is a basic view of the 2025 calendar of events, right? So they've already got the trips in there, the conference, and we're going to talk about that one here a bit, right? So we got Ignite conference coming up, February 26th through the 28th, and that'll be in Dallas. There's the QR code if you want to get set for that. I did team up with Craig to get some an AO pack out there. The AO pack comes with 30 tickets at the top level. So if you guys want that, just let us know and we can get you guys registered at that. Comes out to be 149 that way. So it's better than the individual pricing. And then until next or until the 20th, you can get your conference ticket for next year for 199 instead of the 259. There may be one or two more opportunities for that, but one of the things that I did like was when Casey Watkins said that, you know, he was struggling. He had gone like 0 for 26, 0 for 27. Conference was the next week. And had he not pre-purchased his national ticket the year before, he wouldn't have been able to go to that conference. And if he hadn't done that, I mean, none of us would probably be here because Symmetry probably would not exist. So as we were talking about the simplified process here, this was kind of why SFG Quotes was created to begin with, right? Was because everything was a hodgepodge of information and you had to go to a bunch of different websites. Well, that's kind of what Symmetry has done over the years. They've created all these different things and different ways to get things done, and they just introduced so much. So that's kind of what it looks like, right? A messy middle of innovation. And that happens with innovation, right? There's a lot of things, a lot of moving parts, things work, some things don't. So they went from that to this, right? And now, you know, you come in, you buy leads, you call your leads, you do your casework, and then you write the application, right? Pretty simple. And we'll talk about switchboard funnel as it becomes more relevant and prevalent. So I'm not going to worry about that too much, but the two things there were, and I'm going to just show you guys this picture real quick. So this is what the funnel looks like, right? You get your leads, you upload them here. In this middle part, it will do your script. And if you guys went to that breakout, it's a dynamic script. So as you fill in information and based on your inputs, the script will adapt and adjust to your client. So if they're single, it's not going to ask for spouse information, right? If they do have a spouse, it's going to ask for their name, their income, different things like that. And it walks you all the way through the client qualification form. And then on this side over here, it'll give you the recommendations. So, give me 1 second. It's not. All right.
Do you know if the funnel will allow you to skip information? Like if a client doesn't really want to give certain pieces of information?
Yeah, you don't have to fill it in, you know what I mean? Or you can put, you can leave it blank. But it is dynamic that way. So it does allow you to do that. So in order for us to be simplified here, right, you got to have an SLO. If you don't have leads coming in every week, there's no way that you can run this business. So even yesterday, I went in and I put a standing lead order for MIA leads, which, you know, at my contract level are like $70 each, right? So I did one for 8 standing lead orders because that's what Rex was telling me I needed to do. He's like, if you want to do $5,000 to $10,000 consistently each week, and still maximize your time, he's like 8 MIA leads every single week, right? So 8 times 70 is what, 560, you know, so committing myself to 560 a week. And then if you have an SLO, right, you'll be able to hit your promotions. So getting promoted here, you go from 80 to 85, 85 to 90, 90 to 95. And for a lot of you guys at that, you know, in that range, you can do that in a single month with the slingshot as well. So, and then the last thing I was just going to touch on was just thanking you guys for the award I received for the $5 million in agency production. And then let's see here. So Ignite, Engage. Oh, so they did put a big focus on 5K a week. So we used to have a big focus on SNA. 5K a week, 5K a week for freedom, guys. It's really simple. And I'm going to pick on Brenda for a minute because we love her. She was in our wedding and our anniversary was a couple days ago. But Brenda has had those weeks of consistency. And when you had those weeks of consistency, Brenda, how great did that feel? Like with your weekly production. And there was a lot of things that happened there, right? Like we had a time where when you had your standing lead order, leads didn't come in and you had to adjust and adapt. But like, how did that feel, honestly? Because I can tell you how it felt for us when we were doing it.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
No, yeah, I mean, and that's kind of where I went back to what one of my goals is, you know, we had our team meeting yesterday. And that's what I kind of told the girls on my commitment is to be on consistency again. Because, you know, when you get that flow and when you get that, you know, everyone talks about it, that high of when you're doing consistent, you're doing good, it just gives you more confidence, it gives you more reassurance in what you're doing. And then, I mean, we all have our lows and we all go down and it goes up and down like this all the time. But when the more consistent you are and the more you're able to hit that consistency goal, it allows you to maintain it because you are going through the steps, you're going through the process, you have that flow going. And it's so much easier to maintain that versus doing the up and down side of things.
Yep. Thank you. Yeah. And that cash flow glow, right? It makes things easier. It's the weirdest thing. Like you guys may not understand it. And I don't say this in a mean way. Like most people can't understand it because they've never earned more than $10,000 in a month. Right? Like that, let's be honest, right? Like if you're on a monthly salary or getting paid by a W-2, most of you guys have never made more than $10,000 in a month, right? Here, you can do that, and you can do that consistently every single week. Melissa Banning, another person, she went with me to the what was the one that we went to that the ladies went to as well? Oh, I think it was that one, right? The 90K, or no, it was the new script breakout. So with Sean Lyons. So Melissa was telling me, Melissa sold her agency, so she's no longer an agency director or anything like that. She is just back to being a personal producer because she had her child and they had, 8 years of struggles, right, with trying to get pregnant. And she says, Michael, she's like, I learned that if I buy 8 leads every single week, eight A leads, right? And let me preface this. You have to understand how the sales process goes before you jump into an A lead order. So I don't want everyone thinking that you should jump into an MIA or a CIA lead order right off the bat. You do have to cut your teeth on bonus leads or practice leads or lighthouse leads or Razor Ridge leads in order to get that experience, because you have to understand all the objectives and objections, and go through that sales process. But if you can jump through that quickly, and basically every week you should be upgrading your leads. And I'm going to share one of those things in WhatsApp later. I broke down the progression of that. You can start off with $99 a week here and move your way up to $1,000 a week in about over 8 weeks in investing in leads. But she said, look, I get 8 A leads, MIAs, every single week. She says, I am averaging between $8,000 and $12,000 a week on those 8 A leads. And why is that? Because she has a process and then it creates a pipeline. So she may only sell 5 policies this week, but 3 of those may have come from this batch, 2 or 1 from the previous batch and 1 from the previous batch of that, right? So 3 weeks, but you create this pipeline. Linda knows about pipeline, right? Because Linda had a big week where, one of the policies that she wrote was from a month before, and another one of those policies was from a couple of weeks before, and then one of them was from that lead from that week, right? So being consistent, 5K a week. They're doing a contest, or I guess more of a recognition contest. Everyone that is consistent with it till January 3rd, as long as you write 5,000 a week from here to there, you get $1,000 lead credit. There was some crazy lead credits for the number 1. That's a last man standing type deal. Number 1, number 2, number 3. Additional lead credits as well. And I am visiting with the Kimbrells on Thursday as well about doing an additional bonus on that for everyone in the Kimbrell Master Agency. So maybe it's an additional $500 or something like that. But we are looking at doing that as well. And then Armando brought it up. Resets. Guys, resets. Did you guys see the amount of money that came in from resets? Those of you guys that were at conference? You don't have to do anything.
Lot.
It is stupid, right? Like it's stupid money. Like what does Danny Young say all the time? This is video game money. Like what comes from resets can just change. It can literally change your business, guys. I went to the corporate overview. I don't know how many of you guys went to the corporate overview. In Denver. There was an agent there that reset $700,000 APV IUL. One $700,000 APV IUL. Granted, the target on that, right, was it wasn't the full $700,000, but it was like $125,000 that they were going to get paid on. And that was just from a reset. There was a $2.5 million annuity that Rex Knight Jr. uncovered from a reset on someone that told them, no, we're not interested in anything. And he says, well, you know, how do you feel about your retirement, you know? And they were like, well, that's one thing that we're actually struggling with. We're trying to figure out what we're going to do if we're going to work longer. He's like, well, then the person said, well, do you mind if I set up an appointment with one of our experts that would be able to help you with that? And they uncovered 2.5 million. So resets are huge, guys. Resets are huge, absolutely huge. There's training in it in HQ. And then the last thing I wanted to touch on, I know we have a few new people and you just went through base camp. Go through it again, please. It's 45 minutes. It's 9 steps. It is super simple. It is super streamlined. Just guys, and those of you guys that have been here for a minute, right? Same thing with you. Go through it again. You can't understand what you're asking your recruits to go through unless you've gone through it yourself. So how many times I've been through base camp now? 5 times, because I think this is the 5th iteration of it. And 45 minutes. Seriously, guys, it's the simplest. They said now that a new agent can come in, go through base camp, and write their first application within their first hour of being fully contracted with Symmetry. And why is that? There's instructions in there, right? There's instructions in there to write a policy on yourself, get paid, different things like that. If you need help with that, we're here to help you guys with that. Guys, they have simplified the process that there's basically no excuses can be made at this point. The only excuse is you. The only excuse is me, right? If I'm not where I want to be, that's it. It's already in effect, Armando. If you click on the very top, click on base camp. It should be 9 simple steps at the very top. And you'll see the little mountain. Those of you guys that go to HQ, it's a little mountain, right? And it should be, everything was reset at conference. I was blown away by that. And then what was the other thing? Oh, so funnel. I did say I wanted to touch on funnel. If you're brand new and that's what you want to get started on, that is fine, right? So go ahead and register for it. It is $60 a month. That's what they said, right? $59.99 a month for it. But what that does for your business and the way that it is going to speed up your learning curve, I think is worth it. I signed up for it when they released it to AOs 2 weeks ago. I got in right away and I started to get my A2P done and things like that. That way I can start on it tomorrow. Because all of AO should be unlocked fully tomorrow. But it is not overall summit, I don't know. Base camp is 9, Linda. So base camp should only be 9 steps. Yeah. So base camp, and I'm sorry if I misspoke on that. Yeah, base camp is the part that I meant on the what they reset.
Okay, so as far as Summit, it's just the base camp that they redid. They make
Correct.
it shorter.
Yes.
Got it.
Yep.
But then activate, accelerate, advance, all that is for like different levels as you move up.
Correct. Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Got it.
Yep.
Thanks.
And you can't unlock certain ones until you get there, right? How many of you guys have been getting your text messages and emails from Agent Activation Accelerator? All of you guys should have gotten one yesterday. At least an email or a text message. What are you guys' thoughts on it so far? I want to get honest feedback. Like, is it something you guys are enjoying? Like, is the information relevant? Does it make sense? Yeah, I see a lot of head nodding. So yeah, okay. Cool. So outside of that, guys,
I'm still not getting updates on anyone from the team though.
yeah, there hasn't been any updates on yours. So the information that they're getting is just like the real basic information. We haven't put anyone new for you to be able to get new information. If that makes
Right, but I haven't gotten anybody from anybody's though.
Let's jump on Zoom when you got a chance, even if it's later at night or early in the morning, and let's look at your Bitrix and see exactly what's going on then, because you should be.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't gotten from anybody. So okay.
All right, guys. Anyone else have any questions, comments, or concerns?
I have a question. You mentioned at the Chris Lee training, he had updated things on his training. And I went on it, but I don't see exactly what he added or what was updated. I'm not sure how to tell that.
So if you go to SFG quotes and you click on that link, there's it's not new training in the current class, I guess. They added a new class to it. So like if you log in and you go, yeah, so and that's what I'm saying is it's a new process. Chris and I are working on that this week in terms of I'm trying to get just a team code that we can use where you guys can go in and purchase the upgraded version at no cost.
Okay.
Yeah. So I mean if you guys want to, you can do
log
that
out.
and then we'll have instructions on how to do it. But I think the new one is $20 a month for it. So
the elite bundle.
yes,
Okay.
yeah. But I am working with Chris on that. It's probably going to be, $1,000 or something like that we pay. And then everyone on the team can just get lifetime access to that. So we're working on how that's going to work out. But yeah, who's going to ignite? I know Brenda, Shania, Justine are. Linda, are you? Yep. Okay. Matt.
Yeah, I'm working on going. I'd like to go to that in February.
Okay. And then yesterday I did put a 10-room block only for right now at the Embassy Suites for Denver next year. And we have the ability to go up to 25 rooms without me having to put down a personal guarantee. So we're looking at $219 a night for that. If you go book it right now, it's $309 minimum. So I'm getting the details locked down so I can send you guys that link. What I like about it is you can use my link that we create, right? You can go and register. All you do is put down a credit card. It doesn't charge your credit card anything. And you have up until 24 hours before the first arrival night to cancel it if you need to. So great opportunity to go ahead and reserve your room since now for next year, because you guys know what that's like. And I mean, $219 is a great price. Embassy Suites provides those snacks, the manager's reception every night, drinks, and then phenomenal breakfast, so.
And that's what I was gonna mention also for Dallas. I know we reserved a room already, and I know Linda and Justine reserved a room, but I would reserve, if you're gonna go to Dallas, I would reserve a room right away because last year they sold out right away too. And I know it's at a whole new venue and everything like that. And again, like you don't have to pay for it now, so it's a good thing to just go and reserve it, and you can always cancel it or hand it off later, but at least then you have a solidified room.
Yeah, and Kyle did say that, usually the week after within the first week of them posting that room block, it's gone. So if you do plan on going to Ignite, make sure you guys do that. I was going to look at doing an Airbnb out there, but I like the hotel that it's at. It's a great place. And then if they're not charging you guys anything for it, that's a great opportunity. So I'll give you guys more details on payment plans for tickets for Ignite, if that's what you guys want to do. I know we just came back from conference, you know what I mean? But the best way is to keep that momentum is to book a meeting from a meeting, right? Just like you do with your clients. So if anyone else doesn't have any questions, that will do it for today. So last call on questions. I think
on that room block,
what's that?
we may have to on that room block, we may have to keep it between us for a while, right? Because I know Kyle got in trouble last year and it wasn't to like the Marriott, so that was a big thing.
Oh,
so
yeah.
If we kind of did it within us and didn't post it on the huddle, that'll kind of save us from some heartache.
Yeah, so that link, and thank you for bringing that up. The room block link in Denver is just for our team, guys. So don't, you know, don't tell anyone else about it. You know, it's just something that we try to do to help each other out, right? So I will post SSG Smile and Dial in the WhatsApp now. There's quite a few people dialing. I think Angel is getting set to dial now, and then Jen as well. So good opportunity to hear from them. And yeah, that's it for today. Thank you guys, and hope you guys have a good one. Peace.